What's up and welcome, I'm the one and only West Coast King, and welcome to the 1000 subscriber Q&A special. And to start things off with, just want to say thank you all once again. 1000 subscribers is a lot, and I know when I said I was going to do this and I was asking for questions for this video, I kind of didn't word what I wanted to say very well, and going back and looking at what I said and listening to it, it didn't come out right, and it sounded very kind of pretentious, and I do apologize for that. I said that I didn't, like, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, that I didn't care so much about the numbers. That's not what I was trying to say. That sounded very, very bad. That's not at all what I was trying to say. What I meant was that subscriber numbers aren't the be-all, end-all of doing YouTube, at least not for me. I just like doing it. I like the experience of it. I like, you know, interacting with you guys, like I said a million times, and I just have fun doing it. And yes, getting subscribers is kind of a whole part of that, and what is, you know, kind of is as a number represents how good you're doing, but it's not really the numbers that I look at. It's just kind of how many people like it, how many people are viewing it, and you know, how many people are leaving comments and interacting. And that's really how I gauge the success. Yes, the numbers are important, you know, in the long run, I guess, but right now, like I said, I'm just having fun doing this. So now on we get to the Q&A portion. And for this, like I said, this is my first Q&A ever, so what I'm not gonna put up the people's names, like the post of it, like a screenshot of it or anything, just because I'm not sure if you guys want your names put on the video or anything. Maybe in the future I'll do that, but for now I'm just gonna read the questions and then answer them. So let's get right into this thing. And a lot of these questions are you guys asking me about, like, what I'm a fan of, how I became a fan of this and that, who's my favorite player in this sport or what. And when I get to talking about sports, especially, you know, players and teams that I'm passionate about, tend to ramble on a little bit, so hopefully I don't do that here, and I'll try to keep it short and concise. But yeah, you guys got me talking about the stuff I like, and this could go on for a while. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So let's go. First question is going to be, how old and how did you start to love soccer, and did you play soccer as a kid? And I would say I did play soccer as a kid, and I don't know if I started playing soccer or baseball first, or maybe both at the same time, but I did play soccer and baseball at the same time when I was younger. I would probably say like 5 or 6 years old, but I ended up playing baseball more. I think I played soccer for like 2 or 3 years as a kid, but my mom wasn't a big fan of the cold, early, wet mornings in, you know, the western side of Washington, where it's rainy and it's cold at 7 o'clock in the morning at the soccer field. Wasn't a fan of that, so I ended up switching over mostly to baseball until I started playing basketball a little bit later on. But I have always liked soccer, and I did get away from it a little bit. And then when I really started coming back to it was probably, first of all, when the Sounders became an MLS team, so I actually had a hometown team to root for in on a major level. And then again, the biggest turning point though was probably I think the 2010 World Cup and Landon Donovan's goal in that. That really sparked the passion for me. The whole build-up in that tournament was huge, but that goal was really what set it off. And I can count 3 times in my life where I've jumped up when I'm sitting on a couch in my living room, that I've jumped up and screamed in passion for my team. The first one was in 1995 when the Mariners beat the Yankees and they went on to play for the American League Championship. That was huge. If you're a Mariners fan and you've been around that long, you know what I'm talking about. The second one was when the Heat won their first title in 2006. And then the third one was that Landon Donovan goal. And that was really the turning point when I started to really love soccer again. So moving on to question number 2, and I did just mention the Miami Heat, and I just did that video, I think, what, 2 days ago now it went out, or 3 days ago, about fans burning jerseys and things. And one of the questions off of that video was, how did I become a Heat fan? And I don't really have a story or anything about how I became a Heat fan. I started really getting into basketball in kind of the mid-90s. And obviously the Sonics were really good there. They played the Bulls in the finals, I think in 1996, against that really good Bulls team. Yeah, that didn't go well. But I was always a Sonics fan, obviously, because I'm from the Seattle area. But at the same time, I always kind of found that I really liked the Miami Heat as well. Just that team with Tim Hardaway, Alonzo Mourning. I mean, I like those players, and I liked that team, and I just kind of always stuck around as a Heat fan. And then obviously, once Seattle left, I just became a full Heat fan with you know, no other allegiances, obviously, with no one to root for in Seattle anymore, which sucks. I wish the Sonics would come back. But yeah, I've always been a Heat fan, and even if the Sonics did come back, I would still be a Heat fan. I don't really have a story though how I really became a Heat fan though. I just know that I am a really big Heat fan. If you saw that video about me talking about the burning jerseys thing, I was pretty amped up about that one. I mean, I have 18 Dwayne Wade jerseys in my closet, 18, including the one I'm wearing right now. If you can see it, it's a Marquette jersey. I mean, I've been a Dwayne Wade fan since he was at Marquette. When I first saw him, I was like, man, this guy's going to be great. And then when the Heat drafted him, I was ecstatic. I mean, they got a steal getting Dwayne Wade there. But, yeah, I've just kind of always been a Heat fan. Now, the rest of the questions are pretty much soccer related, so we'll get into those. And the first one is, who is my favorite Sounders player of all time? I'm pretty sure it's well known by now that I am a huge Sounders fan. And I would say my favorite Sounder of all time, that's a tough one. I'd say it's between a couple. I really like, right now, the current player is Ozzy Alonso, which is another question, who's my favorite Sounders player right now. It's Ozzy Alonso. I just love the passion that he plays with. I think he's a very underrated player as well. All time, though, it might have to be Freddie Montero. I mean, I kind of have a soft spot in my heart for him. He scored so many goals in a Rave Green jersey, the all-time leading scorer in Sounders history. So I really do like him as well. And I also like Zach Scott. I mean, he's been around forever. I love Zach Scott. He's a tough player as well. Hard-nosed defender. I like those types of players. So Zach Scott is also up there on my list. So the next one is actually 3 questions. So let's bust them out. The first one is, who are your 3 favorite teams besides the Sounders? And just in soccer, I would have to go with Tottenham. I'm a big Spurs fan from the BPL. I like Dortmund, though I don't get to see as many games from them as I would like because, I mean, being in Germany and they play it really early in the morning for the West Coast, like 4 or something in the morning. It's hard to watch their games. And the other one, I don't really think I have any other teams that I really support or that I really follow all that closely. I would say it's probably just Spurs and Dortmund are the only 2 other teams that I really support. The second part of that question is, what is your favorite national team besides the U.S.? And I didn't really have one up until recently, and that would be Poland. And I actually just recently found out that I have kind of Polish blood. I mean, I have Polish roots, so I do kind of support Poland, which was kind of surprising and also made me very happy because Poland, I think, is one of the teams that are on their way up and could have a breakthrough here very soon. They're in a window right now where they could become quite successful with likes of Lewandowski and, I mean, some of the other players on that team, and I can't think of any right now, which really does not look good for me. I know they got Blaszczykowski and Bizczek and Krychowiak. I'm starting to think of more now, but they do have quite a good team there, quite some good players coming up through the ranks that I think could make them a good team. So I would have to say, other than the U.S., I think Poland would be the team that I support. And the third part of that question is, why don't I hate Zimmerman from Dallas? And if you don't know, I'm doing a League of the Americas career mode series right now with FC Dallas, and Zimmerman is on that team. And Zimmerman was the one that scored the goal that knocked Seattle out of the playoffs last year. And honestly, I don't hate Zimmerman because I don't really blame other teams for my team losing. I always like to put the onus on my team. The Sounders last year just didn't do enough. They didn't do enough, and I blame them, not Dallas. Dallas went out and did their job. They beat the Sounders, and they went through. The Sounders were the ones that didn't do their job. So that's kind of always the way I think of it. I don't really hate other teams for my team losing. So that's why I don't really hate Zimmerman. He did a fantastic job. He got the goal, and he brought Dallas through to the next round, and Seattle just didn't get it done. So that would be why I don't hate Zimmerman. The next question is, who is my all-time favorite player? Now, I haven't really been into the sport as long as maybe some of you have, and I can't really say, from a long time ago, I haven't been watching the sport, so I can't really pick an all-time legend as my favorite player. But if I had to pick one that's kind of now retired, that's, world-renowned and recognized, I would have to say Thierry Henry, just because I saw him play at New York, and, he's a fantastic player still. In his later years with the Red Bulls, and I went back and I've seen some of his highlights from Arsenal as well, and he's just amazing, an amazing player. But if I had to pick a player that I personally supported as my favorite all-time player, I guess it would have to be Landon Donovan, just because, he was the heart and soul of the U.S. national team. Hated him when he played for the LA Galaxy, as a Sounders fan, but still, I would have to pick him as my all-time favorite player, for a player that I supported. And that brings us to the next question, which is, when is the Legend Landon series returning? And That is a tricky question to answer because I want to record that series and I want to put it out there. I know you guys like it as well, but I physically cannot record that series because the internet at my house is bad. It's just not good enough right now. I don't have a solid connection enough to record that episode, so I can't really record it right now. So hopefully I can get an episode out here and there when the internet is working properly, and I will try to do that. But the best answer I can give you would be either if my internet somehow gets fixed, or when I move, which is probably going to be like in September or something. So, yeah, it's not looking good for the Legend Landon series. My plan was that when the Dallas series that I'm currently doing ended, the Legend Landon series would take over for the rest of FIFA 16 and be the main series, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. So I'm sorry I can't do the Legend Landon series. I want to. It's a lot of fun. Just told you Legend Landon, probably my favorite player of all time, but I can't do it. So the last few questions are going to be non-soccer related, I guess. And the first one is, what do I like to do in my free time? Mostly go to work. I don't like to do it, but that's mostly what, I mean, my free time is YouTube almost. Like, I don't really have, between going to work and doing YouTube videos, there's not a lot of time for anything else. But I do like to go out to, you know, the soccer field and kick the ball around and stuff like that. But yeah, mostly it's YouTube and anything video game related. I love to just play different kinds of video games. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just gaming, YouTube, and maybe going out playing either basketball or soccer. And the last question, which I didn't plan this out very well. Again, it's my first time doing this, but the last question I have is, have you ever broken a bone? Which is a weird question to end on, I know, but it's the last one I have, so it's gonna have to do. But the answer to that question would be yes. I've broken 2 bones. No major like arms or legs or anything like that. The first bone I ever broke was my little toe on my right foot. Interestingly enough, playing soccer in the house when I shouldn't have been. And it's actually a funny story because I was kicking the ball around the living room and the ball rolled up next to, I don't know how to describe this, like an old, like a blue milk crate, I guess, that was full of newspapers just sitting on the floor. And I tried to kick the ball and I kicked the milk crate with my little toe. Just my little toe clipped the milk crate and broke my toe. But the ball flew up, knocked a picture off the top of the television, and fell down behind. I immediately started cursing my head off, and I was like 7 when this happened, 6 or 7. Or I think I was 6 when this happened. And I mean, I started swearing, and my mom came storming down the hall, like yelling at me, like, "What are you swearing for? What are you doing?" And I was like, my foot, I hurt my foot, my toe. And I didn't really say how it happened because that would have got me in more trouble than I was already in for swearing. And for some reason, my mom immediately assumed that my little sister, who was 1 at the time and was playing with a little ball of her own, threw the ball and broke my toe. So instead of owning up to I was playing soccer and broke the picture off the top of the television, I let her blame my little 1-year-old sister and didn't get any more trouble. But I did break my toe, which really, really hurt. The other one was I broke my finger playing basketball. That's not a big story. And actually, it was my dad that broke it. He was the coach of the team, and we were scrimmaging, and he was on the other team, and I always like to go one-on-one with my dad. And he got a little physical on defense. And he reached in, which should have been a foul, was a reach in, and he broke my finger. So yeah, that was fun. So that is it for the questions. And before we wrap this up, I kind of just want to talk about like what's coming up as far as, you know, the future things with this channel and what games and stuff like that I'm going to be playing. And I already kind of talked about the Legend Landon series and wrapping up FIFA 16, and hopefully that goes the way I said. I hope it does, where I can play Legend Landon and make that the final series for this channel until FIFA 17 comes out, and then we'll restart the cycle with FIFA 17. But also, I know a couple of you guys have said you want to see me play more NBA 2K, and that is something I want to do. I'm just not really sure what kind of a series you want to see. So let me know, I guess in the comments of this one, what kind of series you're looking for. Is it the My Player or the My GM, which is pretty much career mode with a team and stuff like that in NBA 2K, or if it's My Team, which is kind of the equivalent of FIFA Ultimate Team. So I guess what kind of series are you interested in seeing me play in NBA 2K? I'm down for pretty much any of them. I had a lot of fun playing NBA 2K16, just didn't post a lot of it on the channel. So I would be interested in getting into that. or maybe any other sports games. I haven't played Madden in a long time, though I used to be the all-time Madden champion. All right, I kicked some serious booty in Madden. All right, I've actually never lost a game of Madden to anyone, despite what my little brother says. All right, Colton doesn't know. He has not beaten me in Madden. Don't listen to what he says. He does not know, okay? He thinks he beat me, but it's all in his mind. He never actually beat me. So, yeah, those are really, I guess, sports games are kind of where this channel is at. If there's any other games you want to see me play, I'll be down to play them. I can tell you right now I'm playing a lot of Overwatch. If you want to see Pokemon Go videos, I'm out there on the grind with my Pokemons. I think I'm level 15 right now, so yeah, I'm having a lot of fun playing that. But any other video or any other kind of video games you want to see me play, I'll be down to put them on the channel. It just kind of depends on where the support's going to be at for it. So definitely leave me any suggestions down below. So that is going to be it for this one. Hopefully you got a good idea with your questions posed to me about kind of what my history is as far as, you know, my allegiances to sports teams and things like that. Maybe next time out, I don't know when the next Q&A will be, maybe at 10,000 subs. That's a long ways away. Wow. That's really far away. I don't know if we're ever even going to get there, but maybe we will. Hopefully we will. So maybe in the next Q&A we'll do something different, maybe different kinds of questions or things like that. But that's going to be it for this one. If you did enjoy it, make sure to let me know by leaving a like below. Subscribe if you're new. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.